My sister borrowed my laptop for just 1 hour but returned it 3 weeks later, completely wiped. Oops, I accidentally did a factory reset. All my client files are gone. I lost 6 months of work. Calm down, it's just a computer, my mom said. So I smiled and hired a data recovery expert and a lawyer. When the lawsuit for lost income was delivered, hey, Reddit, I never imagined a single sentence could erase 6 months of my life. Not a breakup, not a betrayal, not even a death, just 3 careless words said with a laugh. Oops. I did a factory reset by mistake. I remember standing in my kitchen when my sister said it. The overhead light flickered, just like it always did when the dishwasher was on. My coffee had gone cold in my hand after nearly an hour of being untouched. I had been staring at my phone, rereading the same notification repeatedly, hoping it would make sense. Laptop returned. That was it. No apology, no explanation, just those 2 words in a text message she sent at 11:42 p.m. 3 weeks. She had borrowed my laptop for 1 hour. That's what she claimed when she appeared at my door that night, mascara smudged, phone in hand, her voice shaking just enough to seem genuine. Please, I just need to log into my email. Mine won't turn on. I promise, just 1 hour. I hesitated. I always hesitated with her because that was the only boundary I had. That laptop was more than just a gadget. It was my office, my income source. My entire business existed within that thin aluminum case. Contracts, client drafts, confidential proposals, 6 months of unpaid work scheduled to be invoiced over the next quarter. Yes, backups were supposedly somewhere. But like most people juggling deadlines and family emergencies, I had been planning to do a full backup this weekend for the last 3 months. I handed it over anyway because she was my sister. Because she was crying and mom was behind her in the hallway, arms crossed, giving me that look, the one that said, "Don't be selfish. Don't start anything. Don't embarrass us." "An hour," I said. "Please." She nodded quickly, her earrings rattling. That was the last time I saw my laptop for 21 days. At first, I told myself she was just busy. Then I thought she had forgotten. Then I told myself not to be dramatic when she completely stopped responding to my calls. By the second week, my chest felt tight every time my phone buzzed. I couldn't concentrate. I started rewriting files from memory on my old tablet, knowing they would never be the same. Clients emailed me for updates. I stalled, made excuses. Family dinners came and went. She avoided me at all of them. On the 3rd week, she finally showed up unexpectedly while I was on a call with a client, whispering apologies through my closed bedroom door. "I brought it back," she said cheerfully, as if she had returned a library book on time. I ended the call early and opened the door. She handed me the laptop with both hands, smiling. Something about her smile made my stomach drop. I didn't even turn it on right away, I just stared at it, noticing the faint scratch near the hinge that hadn't been there before. My fingers felt numb as I pressed the power button. The startup screen looked wrong, too clean, too empty. I logged in. The desktop was bare, no folders, no drafts, no client directories, just the default wallpaper and a single system prompt. I felt my ears start ringing. "What did you do?" I asked quietly. She tilted her head. "I told you it reset itself. I think I pressed something." I opened my email, logged into my cloud storage. Nothing synced. No recent activity. No backups from the last 6 months. My vision blurred. "Did you log out of my accounts?" I asked. She shrugged. "I don't know, maybe." "Relax. It's just a computer." That's when Mom appeared in the doorway. She glanced at the screen for less than 2 seconds before waving her hand dismissively. "Oh, stop. It's just files. You're being dramatic." I couldn't speak. 6 months. 6 months of work I hadn't been paid for yet. 6 months of trust-based contracts with clients expecting timely delivery. 6 months of revenue meant to cover rent, health insurance, and the loan I took out to start my business. Gone. "I need to sit down," I whispered. My sister sighed dramatically. "You always make everything about you." That sentence hit harder than anything else she'd said. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't accuse. I smiled. It felt strange on my face, like a mask that didn't belong to me anymore. "That's fine," I said softly. "I'll handle it." Mom nodded approvingly. "Good. That's what family does." They left soon after, discussing dinner plans as if nothing had happened. I closed my bedroom door and sat on the floor with my laptop in my lap, staring at the empty screen until my legs went numb. Then I stood up. The next morning, I didn't call my sister. I didn't argue with my mother. I called a data recovery specialist. Then I called a lawyer. The recovery specialist listened quietly as I explained everything, his voice calm and professional. "There's a chance," he said cautiously, "but if a full factory reset was done properly, we might be looking at permanent loss." My hands shook as I wrote the check. The lawyer asked more questions, specific ones, like dates, messages, verbal agreements, evidence of income loss. "Do you want to pursue this?" she asked. I thought of my sister's smile, Mom's dismissive wave, and how 6 months of my life had vanished with an oops. "Yes," I said, "I do." By the time the sun set that day, the house felt different, quieter, heavier. My phone buzzed once, a message from my sister. "Hey, Mom says you're being dramatic. Don't make this a big deal." I didn't reply. Instead, I opened a folder on my phone labeled documentation and started uploading screenshots, text messages, email timestamps, client contracts, invoices that were never sent. Every piece of my life she'd erased without a second thought. 3 days later, Mom called. Her tone was sharp, controlled. "Why did a man call the house asking questions about your laptop?" I leaned back in my chair, staring at the wall. "Oh," I said calmly. "That's nothing. Just someone helping me fix a mistake." Silence stretched on the line. Then she spoke again, slower this time. "What kind of mistake?" I smiled the same smile I'd worn the day my work disappeared. "You'll find out," I said. And for the first time in my life, I didn't feel the need to explain myself. That was the moment everything started to change. The lawsuit wasn't dramatic at first. No shouting, no police, no frantic phone calls, just an envelope, thick and beige. Official. It arrived on a Tuesday afternoon, slipped halfway into my mailbox as if trying not to be noticed. My name was neatly printed on the front, my sister's name typed beneath it in bold. I remember standing there longer than necessary, holding it with 2 fingers as if it might bite me. Inside were words that finally acknowledged what I had lost: business revenue, negligence, unauthorized access to professional equipment, documented financial harm. Seeing it written down made my chest ache in a way that crying never had. I didn't tell anyone I'd filed. Not my sister, not my mother, not even extended family. I let the silence do the work. 3 days later, my sister called. She didn't say hello. "What the hell is this?" she snapped. I leaned against my kitchen counter, staring at the same scratch on the wall. I'd been meaning to repaint for years. "It's paperwork," I said calmly. "You're suing me over a laptop," she scoffed. "Are you serious right now?" I closed my eyes. "I'm suing you over 6 months of income you erased," I replied. "The laptop was just the tool." There was a pause, then laughter, sharp and incredulous. "You're unbelievable," she said. "Mom was right. You always think you're better than everyone." That hurt more than I expected, but it didn't stop me. The recovery specialist confirmed what I already knew: the reset had been intentional. Full wipe, manual override, no accident. The files were gone for good. 6 months of work gone. The lawyer's tone changed after that. "This strengthens your case significantly," she said. "My mother showed up at my door that evening. She didn't knock. She never knocked." "What are you doing to your sister?" she demanded, arms crossed, lips pressed into a thin line. "I didn't invite her in." "I'm protecting myself," I said. "This is family," she snapped. "You don't drag family into court." I finally met her eyes. "You didn't seem worried about family when you told me to relax," I said quietly. "When you dismissed my work, when you sided with her without asking a single question." Her mouth opened, then closed. "That was different," she said weakly. "How?" I asked. She didn't answer. The court date was set for 6 weeks later. In those 6 weeks, the story spread not the truth, but their version. I was greedy, vindictive, ungrateful. Family members stopped calling. Group chats went silent. Invitations disappeared. And for the first time in my life, I noticed something strange: the silence didn't hurt. It felt peaceful. On the day of the hearing, my sister arrived late. She looked smaller, somehow, less confident. Her eyes darted around the room, searching for support that wasn't there. Our mother sat behind her, rigid, jaw tight. When the judge asked my sister to explain what happened, she stumbled. First, it was an accident. Then, it was stress. Then, it was my fault for not backing things up. Then the recovery specialist testified. Then my contracts were displayed. Then my projected revenue loss was read aloud. The room fell silent. The judge leaned forward. "You were entrusted with professional equipment," he said. "You violated that trust and caused demonstrable financial harm." My sister's face went pale. The ruling was swift. She was ordered to compensate me for lost revenue, legal fees, and recovery costs. Not all at once, but enough to matter. Enough to hurt. Outside the courthouse, my mother cried. "You didn't have to do this," she said. I looked at her for a long moment. "Yes," I said softly. "I did." I didn't speak to my sister for months after that. Neither did my mother. The family slowly fractured, not because of a lawsuit, but because the truth had finally been spoken out loud. I rebuilt my business from scratch. It took time, patience, and learning to trust myself again. One afternoon, nearly a year later, my sister showed up at my door. She looked tired. "I'm sorry," she said. Not dramatic, not defensive, just tired. "I didn't think about what your work meant," she admitted. "I thought you'd just fix it like you always do." I nodded. "I know," I said. She swallowed hard. "I'm paying the last installment next month." "I know," I replied again. She hesitated. "Do you think we'll ever be okay?" I thought about it. "I don't know," I said honestly. "But I won't let anyone erase my life again." She nodded, and for the first time, she didn't argue. Family doesn't give anyone the right to dismiss your work, your time, or your livelihood. Boundaries aren't cruelty. Accountability isn't betrayal, and silence isn't the same as peace. Sometimes standing up for yourself costs relationships, but losing yourself costs far more. That's all for today's story. Thank you for listening.